Hello everyone and welcome back to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name is Victoria. Today we are here talking about the solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. This is occurring on the 8th of April of 2024. Hold on to your hats here, folks. This is a big one. Number one, the solar eclipse itself is always a very spectacular, if you can see it, astronomical event, right? It's like the fire in the sky kind of energy. Way back in, before they understood astrology, way back in medieval times and things, whenever there was an eclipse, it was like the end of the world, right? The end of times. Of course, we don't look at it quite that way these days, although eclipses can be very unpredictable and they can bring things out of the woodwork. Expect the unexpected whenever we do have eclipse energy, because pretty much anything goes. We can have endings, we can have new beginnings, we can have surprises, we can have joyous occasions and joyous things that come out of nowhere. We can also have things coming out of the woodwork. And so things that have been forgotten about, or things that maybe someone neglected. If you think of your workplace, maybe something comes up from 2 years ago that some old employee never took care of properly, and now here it is. Somehow you have to deal with it. So things like that can very much come up at eclipses. The eclipses can also bring about fated events and just things that are kind of meant to happen, or things that kind of put you right back on your destined path. Now, this particular one, this is going to happen on April 8th of 2024. Pacific Standard Time is 11:20 a.m. is when that full effect of that eclipse is. 2:20 p.m. Eastern time, okay. But check your clocks, check your calendar, check, NASA or something like that to see where and when yours is going to be visible the most. Make sure that you do view eclipses with a little bit of safety in mind, though, because we don't want to burn your retinas out or anything like that. Make sure you do have proper glasses to watch it. Now, new moons themselves bring new beginnings. A solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. So there could be a new beginning somewhere in your life coming about because of this eclipse. Now, this eclipse does trigger a whole cycle. Normally, this cycle does end in about 6 months, because it usually culminates with the full moon in Aries, usually in October, right, is when we have the next eclipse season. This one's a little strange because we actually don't get another full moon in the sign of Aries until the spring, because the eclipse in October of 2024 is actually going to be in Pisces. So very interesting kind of energy there. So this is a long, drawn out new beginning event, which can actually give you some more time to, get things done or get things started, or start to see some progress. This is also conjunct Chiron. Chiron is known as the wounded healer, so this is a perfect time to heal old wounds, whether they're personal, emotional, whether it's something in your career, something in your relationships, right? So this can help us heal some insecurities, some fears, right? And so it's a huge opportunity for healing and having a fresh start. So it is really quite exciting. This is also occurring, there's a lot going on. There's also occurring at the time of a Mercury retrograde. Retrogrades are a time to take a step back, reflect, regroup, renew, reassess, and reevaluate things in our lives. It can also be a time where we can gain some clarity and insights, because we are having a look back at something, or we are double checking something over. We can get the answers that we've been looking for, and sometimes we can have a second chance at something here, whether it's a second chance to start something new, or a second chance to heal something and release it and let it go. This eclipse is happening at 19 degrees. If you know your astrological birth chart, and if you have any personal planets between 17 and 21 degrees, you're going to feel this the most, but have no fear. This is going to impact us all. Reflect back to the solar eclipse that we had in 2023. There may be some things that have played out for you, or maybe there's something that you've forgotten about and you're like, you know what? I'm going to try this again. I'm going to give myself a second chance to start something fresh, or to kind of turn over a new page, turn over a new leaf. That was a doozy of an eclipse last year, of course, because we also had a square to Pluto, right? So that was that was a tricky one, that one. And it really did kickstart a lot of massive changes. I know that I had a lot of massive changes last year, especially through the summer when Venus went retrograde in the sign of Leo. That was not a good time. So, this can be where some things have kind of played out for you, or there may be still some things going on. But this is going to be a very interesting one as well. A couple of days after this eclipse, okay, on April 11th, we have a Mercury cazimi. So a cazimi is, the word cazimi means in the heart of the sun. This is where we can get a mental breakthrough, new visions of the future. This is where we can plant new seeds of intentions. Fresh truths may be revealed, and this can actually bring you some good luck. So the cazimi can actually be a really good time to set intentions to manifest some things into your life. But whatever your situation is, this is going to be a fiery eclipse. It's going to be intense, but it's very closely linked with the sun, so it can be very creative, very energetic. If you've been feeling stuck in a rut, this might be where you get the energy boost you need to get things started and to really get some action going, right? Follow your passion, your goals, your dreams. You might be filled with a little bit more positivity than you were previously. And it's not that we don't have some bumpy astrology coming in as well, because we do, but this is probably going to give you a little bit more of a positive vibe to overcome things or to make those little changes that you want to make. So having said that, let's get into your cards and let's pull out cards for your sign. So for you, Libra, this is occurring in your 7th astrological house, and this is a focus on partnerships. So all kinds of relationships here, friendships, romantic relationships, business partnerships as well. Some of you here could be meeting some new people, making some new connections. Some of you here, you could be kind of getting things back on track and getting things back to a harmonious state. That could be really quite wonderful for you. You may even, for some of you, be taking a relationship up to the next level, a new stage in your relationship. There could be surprise engagements coming in here, even fated meetings. If you are single, this can potentially represent some energy that opens the doors to new love. This 7th house energy also does have to do with sharing, right? Sharing equal responsibility, financial responsibility, making sure that everybody is pulling their weight in a relationship, right? And if it's not, then with the eclipse energy, you could potentially be doing something about it. Okay, it's like, nope, I think we're done with this. So you could be really kind of sorting something out there. The 7th house also has to do with contracts. And so some of you could be forging new contracts, right? So it can be a business contract, so say a job offer. It can be that you are signing things like leases or loans, things like that. But you could also, with your contracts here, be entering into a higher state of union with a person. So think of marriage contracts, or if maybe you're moving in with somebody and you're not necessarily getting married, this can be where you are kind of putting together like things like roommate agreements, or like common law agreements, things like that, right? So this can all come about for you guys. So changes and potentially new exciting things in your relationships here for you. So we've got Scorpio energy, and we've got breathe through the tension. And what do some relationships bring? A little bit of tension. So with the Scorpio energy coming out here, this is saying that there's something shifting, something changing for you. You may have the ability to get something back on track should people be willing to compromise and willing to be a little bit flexible with each other and honest and truthful for sure, and maybe embrace a little bit of change. But with this energy, this can be where something really does come to a climax. because that's what eclipses do, and especially in the Aries energy, the fiery energy. So if there's something that's been very much in an impasse, right, you could have something that kind of does blow up a little bit, and it's probably necessary to really get everything out in the open, to get the truths revealed, and to deal with something head on. But whatever it is for you, breathe, breathe, breathe through the tension, right? The lunar cycles, when they are eclipses, I mean, lunar cycles, sometimes they can be a little bit dramatic or emotional anyway. New moons are typically a little bit gentler, but when we have eclipses, it's like anything goes. Expect the unexpected. Things that are hidden can come to light, right? We can have all kinds of fated events that are going on, and it can be a little bit stressful, or it can be emotional, or you could just be feeling a little bit out of sorts. So here in this energy, it's going to be really important for you to do a little bit of breath work, engage in some meditation, find a quiet space, or connect with nature, something that just kind of makes you feel a little bit more in alignment with yourself, a little bit calmer, and a little bit more grounded. It's going to be a really good way for you to navigate some of this energy. We've got the Queen of Cups coming in here for you. There's some love in the air. We've got the Seven of Wands, someone laying down boundaries. And we've got the Knight of Pentacles, potentially an offer coming your way. So with the Queen of Cups, right, we do have love. We've got an open heart here in this energy. We also have some very psychic and intuitive senses here as well. So let your intuition guide you, because if you want to have an important conversation with someone, timing is everything. And so your intuition will kind of say, okay, now is the time, right? And so we need to listen to that. The Queen of Cups can also be this energy that you're embracing here, where maybe your intuition is saying, kind of giving you a little nudge out the door to go to a certain event, especially a social gathering or anything like that. Or maybe if you're single and you're doing some online dating, it's just something maybe compelling you to go somewhere, to talk to some people, or to accept some invitations. And even though maybe you don't want to, your intuition is nagging you and saying, yes, go, go, go. And there's a reason for that. So pay attention to your intuition. But the Queen of Cups does bring love and romance and connection, kindness and compassion to your situation. It can bring you a potential person here as well. So for some of you, you're meeting some new people. Okay, you're letting your guard down enough that you're no longer have walls built around your heart. Instead, they're healthy boundaries, and there might just be a person coming in that you get talking to and you quite like. But the Queen of Cups can also certainly represent some peace, some forgiveness, some calm, being open-hearted, being kind and gentle with people, especially people, and your situation. And you have the potential here to get things back on track. But with the Seven of Wands, this does show that you are very much in a position of strength. And you need to remember that, because sometimes we need to turn and face the music. We need to turn around and face our issues head on. And that's what the Seven of Wands does. This might be where you advocate for yourself, or you lay down those boundaries, right? You lay down kind of the rules, so to speak, and you stick with them. So if you think of say a business partnership, and I know a few people that have a business partnership with someone else, right? Co-owners of a business, and they need to reestablish and remind each other of their boundaries and responsibilities every once in a while. Because you do have kind of maybe one person that's really good at connections and social networking, drumming up business, like a salesperson kind of thing, right? And then you might have the person on the back end that is kind of a little bit better at like the business aspects of things, right? Like doing the paperwork and documentation and, filing taxes and things like that. So, but sometimes, we do get a little bit out of whack in that. So we got to bring things back to center. Same thing in a personal relationship here as well, right? It's like, okay, if we have some issues, we need to deal with some things and then we can move forward. But the Seven of Wands does show that you have the ability to overcome whatever relationship issues, struggles that you may have or that you have had, and you can move forward in a wonderful way. The Knight of Pentacles can certainly show one day at a time, one situation at a time, and deal with the issues. Pay attention to details. You'll get to where you want to go. The Knight of Pentacles does quite often bring us something, and we can bring an apology maybe. We can bring invitations for business connections, social events, can bring us possibly proposals, but maybe a little bit more on a practical level here with the Knight of Pentacles. So it's not necessarily, I mean, the Knight of Pentacles is not going to be a sweep you off your feet kind of energy, but there is love here. So this can be where, you know, maybe if you are in a romantic relationship here, instead of, you know, getting a marriage proposal, maybe you decide very practically to move in together, right? This can be that business partnership that may come up here as well. You might be dealing with financial matters with a person in your life also. And this can be where maybe they pay you back, right? They might bring you something, or you are feeling like might be in a position to help someone out in this energy as well. But the Knight of Pentacles can certainly show that there could be something coming in here for you, and it could be something very exciting. We have the dark energy here for you. Take a moment to sit under the star-speckled sky, listening to crickets and breathing in the cool night air. And there's where we've got that Scorpio energy, that breathe through the tension. There's changes, or there's the need for a little bit of change, and part of how we can navigate through some energy, or really just kind of sit in a quiet space and figure out what it is we want, then, you know, this can bring us a little bit of peace and calm when we find that quiet space. So that might be really important for you at this time. There's your next card. I seek truth and act upon my realizations. There you go. So figuring things out, bringing things out in the open, out of the woodwork, we deal with things, we carry forward, we make a decision, and we move on. Done. That's how we get unstuck from things. So that's what I have for you, Libra. I hope you guys have a wonderful eclipse. I do thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.